So today, we're going to talk about Starsky and Hutch. So it's a 92, 48-minute American television series, with a 70-minute pilot that spans 4 seasons over 5 years. Created by William Blinn in 1975, and broadcast between April 30th, 1975 and May 15th, 1979 on the ABC network. We follow the investigations of the Zebra 3 Patrol, a Bay City, a city invented for the Starsky and Hutch series. They are not used to following the rules to the letter, and they prefer to rush into the big Torino in pursuit of the thugs. David Michael Starsky, played by Paul Michael Glaser. He is originally from New York, and his colleague, Kenneth Hutchinson, nicknamed Hutch, is played by David Soul. They have a very different character, but they consider each other brothers. Harold Dobby, played by Bernie Hamilton, is their captain. He is very firm with them, but supports them in their investigations. They are helped by their informant, Huggy, the Good Tips. Played by Antonio Fargas, he is the bar owner, the Pits, and Starsky and Hutch's friend. In the original version, his name is Huggy Bear and his surname is Braun. The car so famous in the series is a Ford Grand Torino, and they used about 10 models made between 74 and 76. You can see very slight differences between the cars used, depending on the level. Finishing, unlike what we see in the series, the car was not as easy to drive to do stunts. It was particularly difficult to maneuver, and Paul Michael Glaser hated driving it. And following the success of the series, in 1976, Ford released a special series of Gran Torino coupes, red and white, named after our heroes in the series. There were only 1,000 copies available. It is one of them which was used in the film of 2004. It had been lent to the production by a fan who kept it religiously in his garage, in mint condition. Hutch drives a Ford Galaxie 500 Ltd 1973, in poor condition. It will end up in a ravine, and he will buy the same car, but it will also have a disastrous fate. It will explode in season 4 and, suddenly, he will buy a Nash Metropolitan of 1955, still brown and beige. The two stooges don't like the other's car, always bragging about them. This famous car was not the first choice of producers. He initially turned to the Chevy brand for a green and white Camaro, but they didn't provide a car. That's how we got the Ford. The series has undergone the same treatment as Amicaliement Vu in France. That is to say that the dubbing was enhanced by the voice of Jacques Balutin, who played Starsky, and by Francis Lax, who played Hutch. They gave free rein to their interpretation to make the series even better than its original version. At the beginning of the project, the series was called Night Works, and the two cops worked at night, hence the title. However, Fred Silverman, an ABC official, requested that the action take place during the day instead. To find the actor who will play the role of Starsky, more than 80 actors were auditioned. What made the difference for Paul Michael Glaser was that he played his interrogation scene for his audition casually, eating peanuts, while almost all the other actors played the scene in a casual way. Strong. What pleased Aaron Spelling, the producer, and Barry Shear, the director, before finding the names of our heroes, William Blinn did a lot of research for Starsky. He was inspired by the nickname of the American football player at his university, and for Hutch, he tested names in alphabetical order until he found an H name that he liked. Our two stars have not only played in the series, they also made episodes. David Soul directed 3 and Paul Michael Glaser directed 5, including the last in the series, How Sweet Revenge Is. And it's not just them who have directed episodes. There is also the stunt coordinator, Charlie Pacini, who did 2. He also had a role in the series as Alex for 7 episodes. And, if that wasn't enough, he was also Paul Michael Glaser's stunt double. The car appears in 3 other series, the first you know, because it is often written to me in the comments. It isn't the Dukes of Hazzard, the very first episode, but it also appeared in The Agency, Season 1, Episode 21, named Double Enigma, and above all, directed by Paul Michael Glaser. She also appeared in a Season 5 episode of Sliders. The good old Starsky vest has, in fact, only appeared 3 times in the entire series, the first in the pilot, the second in the episode Terror on the Pier, and the third in Raining. But it is inseparable from the character, because he wears it in the credits and in many advertising posters. And this sweater, by the way, was found in a Mexican store in Los Angeles. Season 2 Episode 20, Starsky and Hutch are replaced by Huggy and his friend, Turkey, and it should have launched a spin-off, based on Huggy, as a detective, but the episode had a bad rating, and the project was cancelled. In the opening credits, David Soul is seen jumping onto the roof of the car. It was he himself who had performed this stunt, and he injured himself while performing it. Paul Michael Glazer hated playing Starsky, and he regularly threatened Aaron Spelling with breaking his contract. He preferred to be a director, but the series was cancelled before he carried out his threat. The series was cancelled due to a change in tone in Season 4. David Soul looked like he was playing a different character, with a change in look and attitude. In addition, the screenwriters had been replaced. The new ones could not keep the atmosphere of the episodes of the previous seasons. There were changes between the pilot and the series in the French version. Captain Dobby is pronounced Dobby and no longer Dobe, as in the pilot. The famous Zebra 3 was not in the pilot. In the pilot, they used Zebra 3, which sounds really ridiculous in French. And there will be a nod to the series with this famous Zebra 3 in the Rick Hunter series, in Episode 8 of Season 6. Here is the short list of guests who have appeared in the series. And there, I think I forgot nobody, but you will cry for the pronunciations, and that, it does not matter. John Ritter, Linda Carter, Richard Keel, Melanie Griffith, Danny DeVito, Jeff Goldblum, George Zunza, Suzanne Summers, Jean-Pierre Aumont, Jose Ferrer, Edward James Olmos, John Collins, Kim Cattrall, Robert Loggia, John Saxon, Dee Wallace, Stephanie Kramer, Roger E. Mosley, and Philip Michael Thomas. The most famous adaptation is the film released in 2004, directed by Todd Phillips, with Ben Stiller as Starsky and Owen Wilson as Hutch. They have to solve a classic murder case. The movie is a big, heavy comedy, but I liked it. But I know it's divisive, not everyone liked it. There is a game available released in 2003 on P.S.2, Xbox, Game Boy Advance, and P.C, published by Mind's Eye Productions. It's an action racing game where you have to stop thugs in cars. The PC version could be found in serial packets, and a sequel was planned in 2004. A sequel was planned in 2004 but was cancelled during development. For paper adaptations, there are 8 books that cover more or less well the stories of the episodes released between 1976 and 78, adapted by Max Franklin at Ballantine Book Editions, available only in English. There is a magazine that was available in England. There are 56 issues, and it followed the release of the episodes. Inside there are interviews, set photos, and other stuff on the show, and it's also available in English. For comics, there are parodies released in Mad and a few other releases here and there, but nothing in particular. Moreover, it's weird because the series also lends itself quite well to making a comic. There is no anime, but the cartoon Funky Cops is very inspired by the series, as is the French series Duval et Moretti, which is also inspired by Starsky and Hutch. There, for this license, there are a lot of things. A whole bunch of miniature cars at Greenlight, the Hatchet Collection version at 1/8. The best known is at Georgie Jr. Moreover, I own it. There are cards to collect, an electric circuit, cigarette butt figures, a board game from M.B, a pillow, walkie-talkies, and the classics, mug posters, t-shirts, and lots of other things. There is only the embarrassment of choice. The credits are a great classic of the 80s. The original version, it has not much to do with the one we had. It is composed by Lalo Schifrin, and he also composed Mission Impossible. But we, from the second season, we had the version written and composed by Hans Sabin and sung by Lionel Leroy, which fits much better with the French version of the series. The rest of the music was composed by several musicians like Rocky Moriana, Tom Scott, Michael Boddicker, Mark Snow, and a few others who only made 1 or 2 pieces. Lalo Schifrin, he really has a name, slept out with a lodging ticket. Lalo Schifrin also did other music than the credits. Moreover, the original version had 3 different credits music. The music was released in 2 albums, one in 1998, with the music of the series, and another in 2004 with that of the film, reserved only for those who liked it, of course. So much for this series. I liked her growing up, and she's still watchable, no problem. The film is more particular. We love it, we hate it, it divides as usual. Me, I like it. And there was a reboot project, but it was cancelled. and for the moment, at the time when I make the video, there are no other projects in progress. The complete series is available on DVD, French version, but not in super quality. There are some Myrtle wheels. There is no Blu-ray, it's weird. Quarter the series does have a market, they keep releasing it, but there is no Blu-ray. I still have the links for the box set on DVD in the description. By the way, if you want, you can subscribe to the channel. From now on, there are the great thanks for supporting the channel. Otherwise, don't forget the classics, comments, subscription. Come on, otherwise, bah, I tell you, another video. Bye bye.